All right. Welcome back to Templars Talks, and today we have a bit of a special for you. And that means we're gonna do things a little bit different than before. Our usual bi-weekly chat up and about what we have been doing and such. Today we're going to talk about iconic venues.
Yes.
And, I mean, venues come and go, but some are just a little bit more special than others. And we selected a couple, and with those we're gonna share our memories about them and the stories that we've heard from other people, the media, so to say.
Indeed. And I had a question, first of all, when you mentioned this topic. I was like, okay, but what exactly is an iconic venue? Because I think also our opinions might differ from that. So let's start there. What is iconic venue to you? When does it qualify?
I think for a couple of the ones that I selected on the list, they are legendary because of the kind of impact they had in the media, like in the stories that come up with. I mean, I selected, for example, Tivoli Vredenburg, which, I mean, that there have been so many stories about that, not just our stories, which we're obviously gonna share, but also like stories about a Prince after party, for example, or some Keiteman orchestra trying to use it as a rehearsal space after they were breaking down, for example, that sort of things. That makes it kind of legendary to me when those are around. But also a couple of those that I selected were more like where I have legendary memories of things that happened. You know, people always ask you about backstage stories, but not every fun thing happens in the backstage. It happens in front of the stage where everyone is, including you as a listener. So you just need to listen and open your mind and open your eyes to see what's going on sometimes.
Sometimes, indeed, yeah. Well, I had what is iconic because I had the same thought as you. Like, you know, it's about... A good part is also about your own memories of a gig and maybe the social factors, like how it's perceived in the news and all that. But also I think it becomes iconic with the history. What kind of bands played there? You know, some venues, they might not be the most amazing building. They might not, they have terrible sound. But somehow all the big names from years ago, they played there. And sometimes a place like that will turn into something iconic as well. And then you have those places that, you know, have been around and various musical genres have been playing there for like jazz, classic, but also rock and metal. And it's interesting to see that, you know, all types of music come together. For example, in America you have Whiskey A Go-Go. I mean, that's
true.
Like, you know, that's a name. But also sometimes it's also a little bit the building and the architecture.
True.
Because I have to think of Paradiso.
And the story about Paard, which may not be too known about everyone. Paard's in The Hague. I think we've been there a couple times together. The designer is famous, done by a famous Dutch designer, Remco Waas. And he did a very nice building for a venue, but he forgot that one of the most important things about making a venue is that the sound is actually very good and not leaking. So that was an issue after it was done, you know. So, but that, to me, I've not been to that place very often, so I cannot qualify that as iconic for me personally, but it's a story.
Me neither.
It's a story that's definitely out there, and I think the bands that played in a venue is also very much credited to a booker and not per se the venue itself that attracts bands. It's the booker who discovered
until they are sort of known as an iconic place, because I sometimes see bands saying like, oh, we're gonna play in this place and it's such an iconic...
Yeah, true, but still...
and then...
I don't know.
So the venue is then...
It became iconic because there was a booker once that did a really good job in discovering bands.
Yeah.
and we don't always, as an audience, you don't always know who's the booker,
No.
and maybe that's for the best. Don't harass bookers for your favorite band, please. Leave that up for us.
Yes.
But yeah, I think for me it's also the stories. From our perspective, but also what the media tells you, what other journalists bring, because I think in the Netherlands we have quite a culture where we celebrate music in the time of the year, like Christmas, where there's many television shows that do talk about these things. There's podcasts that speak about the music scene specifically. There's top 2000 lists, top 4000 list, whatever, where people go to. There's a whole scene around that with separate TV shows where they go into details about some of the artists that were on those lists.
Mm-hmm.
So and that same goes with the stories that they put out there about their performances that happen in a building. In the end, it's a building, and what happens in a venue is made by people. So
exactly.
That to say, I think we can start with taking one from the list, and I have them in some sort of random order. A lot of them will be in Finland because that's where the basis of Templars lies. Mm-hmm. Even though we are Dutch, I think both of us were in Finland. A lot of our crew, even the crew now, still has been having some sort of link with Finland or Scandinavia whatsoever. But maybe take the first one, Dante's Highlight, which was a venue in Helsinki. It's been around for only a couple of years, actually.
I don't think I've been there.
Yes, we've been there together. I have pictures
of it. But it wasn't... Us. Was it still Dante's? I thought it was already...
No, it was still Dante's back then. And,
was it with the zebra print?
Yeah. That's the thing also, I think. To mention also, a lot of the venues in Finland are... more than a venue, they're more like a sort of club where you can hang out also, where the decoration is just a little bit more nicer than the stereotypical European venues. They put a little bit more ivory, the details, I think, make it more cozy, I think a lot of venues in the Netherlands are very, they have functional.
Yes. Especially all the new ones. They're built to be functional. You go see a band, 30 minutes after the last tone, you get kicked out and the disco evening starts and the second round of use of the venue.
Yeah, but they don't have like the decorations on the walls that make it feel warm. The nice lighting. The lighting is for the stage, but everything beyond that's just there. And no,
true.
It is very functional, and I think those venues in Finland were just made for a more different experience. And yeah, I mean, Dante's Highlights. Funny thing is, I met one of my ex-boyfriends there. That I have to mention. The funny thing was that was at a New Year's Eve party, and we were kind of hanging out with one of the other bands that was playing, and they were kind of along. And we met some people. I met some people in the audience. I took pictures from the audience, they were doing something with the fireworks in the audience to celebrate the New Year. Mm. The safe kind of fireworks, so to say. And I took a picture of that years later when things were different back then, and we were like talking about that night specifically, and I said, "Oh, I have these pictures," and I realized the people I took a picture of became friends with us, and but neither of us remembered that we were at that same night. You know,
funny.
Yeah, that's funny, and that's one thing I will remember from there. But I've seen there quite a lot of good shows. I remember seeing a show like from Cinnamore, for example. I think even Amorphous played there, but I wasn't sure if I was there or one of the other crew members was there. It was just one of those places where also the after party was pretty nice. I know that there was a place where broke people could sneak in by going to the bar, which was below, and then take the inner stairs to go up. and then in the confusion of people there, they sneak in. That happened quite often, I think, more than the venue people may have realized that. Of course, I would never do such a thing because I'm most of the time on the press list anyway. So, but I know that happened a lot in that place. And I've been to. There were some Tuska after parties there. I think that's when we went there also. I have pictures of us drinking salmiakki even. And that's quite rare because I'm not really drinking alcohol.
Nope.
So if you have such a picture, that's really iconic on its own.
Yeah.
I think I've been seeing Ayatra there, and Ayatra is that's quite something to say. That band is interesting. Finnish, singing in Finnish, has quite a reputation. I don't think they've been active anymore for a long time. But it was the kind of band that everybody would like to see, but it was kind of an underground secret or something. I don't know. I don't think they were very famous beyond Finland. But yeah, those were really nice shows. What I liked also about it, that stage wasn't too high, so you could still be feeling a bit like close. But at the same time, it was an old church, which are more venues on our list. And that the fact that it is an old church, which we wouldn't necessarily say from the outside.
Or the inside.
I think if you looked in the back, you could kind of see the structure in the ceiling still. But it wasn't really looking much like a church, so to say. And they had a bar like in the middle of the venue. That was a bit strange because it takes up a lot of space, obviously. But on the other hand, it wasn't just a venue. It was also for hanging out as a bar, as a club night where people were dancing. Finnish dancing. I liked the that you could also go up to the balconies and kind of look down. They had some netting there, which made it look really interesting when the colored lights were on it. And so many good memories to that place. I think
nice.
A lot of bands that were just a little too small for Tavastia. We're finding shelter in Tanta's highlights.
They found shelter. That's kind of...
No, I don't mean it bad.
I know.
But in the end, it was a church after all. Yeah, I've spent quite some hours in Tanta's highlights, and always good. Oh, the thing is, also always there would be something strange happen, even if there was no bands or something. I remember one night with one of my other crew members, we were sitting there, and I remember there was this group of guys that came sitting with us, and one of them was back in the day starting a website, a porn site, and he was like with some pretty heavy girls around, and they were having some talk about the website that they were making where people could go and rate their boobs. And this woman was just like, yeah, I'm on there, I'm this and that. And I'm like, okay, interesting. But and they were trying to get me to sign up there also. And I was like, well,
no.
I think in the end it was sort of the very early version of OnlyFans, maybe, if you think about it now. The plans that they had with that. I have no idea what became of it because I never stayed in touch with these people, but it was just one of those really random things that would happen in that venue.
Yeah, kind of fun.
Do you have any memories of seeing shows there?
No.
No? Okay.
But I think I've only been there once.
Yeah, possible.
With having that drink with you. I don't even think there was a band playing.
Yeah, they were not open for too long. I think maybe 1 or 2 years, and then they went bankrupt. Then it was changed owner, who later become also the owner of Circus in Finland, I think, if I remember correctly, which also doesn't exist anymore, but it's definitely not iconic. It was iconic for maybe the fast
disappearing.
No, and also about the very rude staff that they were hiring. I must say
Can be,
I have not been there myself, but everybody was complaining about that. So yeah, but what Dom Helsinki was in the end not too different from Don's Highlight. I think they basically took over the decor and also made a little bit more space. I went to see Poison Black play a show there. I think I've seen some Finnish bands play there also. Some local bands that I will not mention all of that, but Poison Black definitely I've seen there. And
Nice.
they had some sort of crown hanging in the top. I remember that. It wasn't exactly a crown, but I just called it a crown because I have no idea what else it was supposed to look like. So yeah, that's the Dante's Highlight story.
Yeah. Well, something I like to mention, and I'm not talking about my own experience, but I think we have to include these when you're talking about Europe and not only Finland and the Netherlands. So I'm just going to mention them, and maybe you in the comments can leave if you have a story there. Because I think Royal Albert Hall in London is quite iconic.
Yeah, definitely.
For classical music, but also all those rock and metal bands played there. ABBA played there. Led Zeppelin, Frank Zappa. And there's another one in London, I think.
Bauer.
Franz Bauer?
Yeah, he did a show there.
In Royal Albert Hall?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is iconic.
Yeah.
I think London has another one, the Apollo. I mean, it's
yeah, definitely a famous one.
And then in Paris you have the Olympia.
Yeah.
And in Dublin you have, it's also called Olympia, but I think it's called 3 Olympia. It's if you see the front, it's quite small. I've not been there.
I think I've been there, yeah. Yeah.
So all these places exist for so many times. I think they all...
And I was thinking about
I think they all came from 1800 something, 1870 something. I think Apollo in London as well. So yeah, they've been around for so long, and because of that, they turned into iconic places. And I think all places still bands play there. Of course, the scenery inside changed because you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
But yeah, I thought we should mention this. And I the last year I saw a couple of, and I'm not quite sure. I never saw this back in the past, but they starting to use those really old historic spaces as venues.
Yeah, the Acropolis and such.
Yes, like amphitheaters from the Greek and Roman Empire.
True.
And for example, but that's not Roman and Greek, but the Valhalla, Sweden, they in a cave in a caved rock.
Yeah.
They are
Prekestolen.
a little bit like amphitheaters.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny, but they of course they are out in the open, so it's not a venue.
No.
But and not iconic, but
iconic, yet not in the sense that we were meant to talk about that. It's interesting. I was thinking also about Logo in Hamburg. I don't know if you've ever been there, but that place has been around forever as well, I think. Yeah. One of those names in Germany that I can recall being quite iconic. Well, let's talk about one that we were both attending, and let's do a Dutch one this time. Maybe start with the Tivoli, because I already mentioned that one before. It's in Utrecht, in the center of the country. Tivoli still exists with the
new building.
I wrote down Vredeburg, but I mean Oudegracht actually.
Because now it's Vredeburg.
Yeah, now it's called Vredeburg. I meant the Oudegracht one, and you also had Tivoli de Helling, which is now named de Helling. Just not Tivoli anymore. I still think that they were sort of connected or something. I don't know if they're completely separate now, but I don't know. In any case, the Oudegracht is what we wanted to talk about. And
Oude Gracht is the one at the Gracht, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of obvious if you call it like that, but the Helling, I don't know, I don't think I've ever been there. But the Oude Gracht, I definitely have a memory. And I actually have a memory with Korpiklani.
Ah!
Korpiklani played there with Tuur and the Dutch...
Hollandton?
No, not Hollandton.
Yeah, I thought it was
the Dutch...
Dutch band.
Heidevolk.
Heidevolk.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Heidevolk. They played there together, and it was summer. I think it was August or something, and I think it ended quite early, and it was sunny, and I think all the bands went out, and then you had to near the entrance you had a little bridge over the water, and then a little bit to the left there was a beer cafe, or probably still is.
Belgium, wasn't it? Café Belgium?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And they have these, like, so many beers. And we were there with not all the bands, but a few members from all the bands. We went there, and I kind of think we were somewhere between the cafe and somewhere between the Oude Gracht. And then everybody was drinking and having fun and having a good time. And, the singer from Korpiklani. When I left, he shouted, "Look out, the wild one!" Like, okay,
what?
I don't know. I didn't even talk to him there, but kind of funny. But yeah, I have a good memory of that evening.
Can remember that there's so much going on in that place. I have memories seeing so many bands there. I saw Kim Wilde, which bought people from the press some pizza afterwards. I was there. It was a very interesting experience. End of the tour, so to say. I have memories of being in the back interviewing Mortis and both Combi Christ as well. And we were in there talking. Yeah, we were in there talking to the manager, and it was like, "Oh, you guys wanna?" They kind of tricked us in doing both because I only wanted to do Mortis. And then, we were there. We were like, okay, you can do Mortis first, but he's still on the phone with his wife, so you have to wait outside the dressing room, and he will pick you up once he's done with the call. And of course, that makes sense, right? And then the guys from Combi Christ who knew my other crew member I was with very well because they've been around for quite some time, and. So we were waiting, but they started to be sort of jealous that we first went to Mortis. And they decided to take the fruits that they were given in their dressing room and start throwing them at us in full speed.
Yeah.
And we were kind of hiding out in the dugouts that led to the showers, because it was not normal throwing, it was full speed on throwing. It was like kind of scary even. I was like, what's wrong with these people, you know? What we don't get to make this decision. That's not made by us whatsoever. In any case, we called in with Mortis, who was the most nice person ever. He's so nice. We did this interview, and I was still sitting there, and my friend was sitting next to me, then the guys from Mortis came, from Combi Christ decided to kind of come in and try to interrupt that interview by doing weird stuff behind our backs, and we just both were like, okay, we're just gonna ignore them. And then they tried to steal my partner's hat. They just took it off from her, and they decided to walk off, and we were still ignoring them, and then they were doing even more rude things, and then Mortis got tired of them, got up and literally kicked them out of the room. So yeah, that was quite something, and then we still had to talk to them, and I was like, I'm not doing it, good luck. I'm like, fuck them. I have a memory of Summer Darkness. Summer Darkness was also always in town, and for a majority of the part was in the Oude Gracht venue.
I think I also went there
once. Oh, possible.
Yeah.
And but it was in more venues. Mm-hmm. So I was there, and I was with the Foreshadowing back then. I was doing an interview, and we were sitting in the back. I think Lacuna Coil was also there, and we ended
might have seen them there.
Yeah, and we ended. I remember that we ended up getting ice cream somewhere down the road together, and yeah, that.
Yeah.
But
Nice place.
nice place. The sound wasn't that
Not
great.
no.
Yeah, I've seen so many bands there. I can't. I just have a long list if I would mention all of that. But like, the sound wasn't too bad, too great. The venue had to close down because of that. Also, I think it's also one of the reasons that they couldn't continue going on there.
No, I think that the roof was quite low.
Yeah. Yeah, it did have like balconies and such, but still, it was a very old building, and it was just not functional. Also, the space for the bands was very small.
Yeah, and how to get there with a nightliner is problematic.
Almost impossible. And the neighbors and
complaining.
That and then they broke it. They tried to close it down and break it off, but they were trying to find a different purpose for the building because the building is quite historical.
Yeah.
And I think the orchestra bought or rented the place for a while to rehearse there, and then they still were talking about doing something. I recently saw that they kind of started to rebuild something there.
I think there was a studio now or something.
I recently walked by there, but and they still have like the light
Signs.
box out there where they put the posters in from the bands that were playing and such. And that was still there, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I think I was there with my dad when we walked by there.
Yeah, nice.
So really nice. And there was also like the story that when Prince was playing in the Utrecht in the Jaarbeurs actually, then Prince is known for doing after parties, right? And everybody's always trying to get that one. And I remember I listened to a podcast about this story that the booker had kind of made arrangements that would happen, but you never really know if that actually happens because the confirmation with management and Prince itself is kind of last minute, so to say. And then there was the rumor of Henk Westbroek, which was the owner of a small rock bar in the town, that he would be the host of the Prince after party. It would be like ridiculous because that place is way too small for that. But I don't know. In the end, it ended up being in the Tivoli, and
nice.
Yeah, that's one thing to say. And Prince also have a very good connection with iconic venues, because I definitely have another Prince story on on my list for you guys later.
Okay. So let's jump to another one. And I saw this one is not on your list, and it's not iconic in the sense of great bands that have played there, but it's iconic in my memory. Virgin Oil.
Yeah. Kinda, it is.
Because
I didn't add that to the list indeed, but definitely.
For me, there are a couple of after parties from Tuska, which I quite enjoyed. A lot of fun. But I remember one. We had that interview, and we had to go back and
up and down,
up and down, and squeaky small hallways, cracking floors. And then we were doing the interview, and then I just have to tell this story because there's no place how I ever gonna, or maybe our book. But
we should first talk about the band, which was it?
Yeah, it was Caron
Caron.
Yeah, they were playing their last performance,
final show ever,
and I don't know. We were talking, and I think we were at that point. It was a long, weird interview, but I think at that point we were talking about
the first thing is like how
Christmas.
We
building up stages, and
I think it started also. We were trying to get into that venue because obviously that was sold out.
Yeah.
So we kind of reached out like, hey, can you put us on the press list? And then they were like, trying to get us in there, but the list was kind of full, so they tried to get us in via doing an interview.
Yeah.
Which it's, for a band that quits is kind of like
fun.
Huh? So we were like, yeah, what's next? And that's how we came to the Christmas.
Yeah, because the singer wanted to do, JP wanted to do a Christmas album.
He
wanted to do.
He was working with Raka Stayalua.
but I think he also wanted to do something solo, and then we
Yeah.
jumped to building their own stages. But then, somewhere in the middle, out of nowhere, I think JB was sitting, I think, from the right, and I think you were sitting left or across me, and I think there were two other band members, and I have no clue in my memory who they were. I think there were two.
Yeah.
And one of them suddenly said, I think we were asking about their plans or something, and then one said something like, "Yeah, I want to go to Finnish forest and decapitate your heads and put it on a stick and dance around it and have a party."
Yeah.
And we were both like, processing, like,
Wait, what?
Oh, but then, it was.
I remember the tour bus driver trying to cool us down because it was a goddamn hot in the backstage.
Yeah.
Like, damn. He was like waving with papers for us so we could get some fresh air. Like,
and not to the band, but to us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But in that way, for me, that place became kind of iconic.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple more bands there. I think Grendel played there once, and
yeah, definitely.
I saw other bands there. And
there wasn't
you
that,
told where you
wasn't
were on
that
the stage
my
with the microphone.
Yeah, wasn't it on my birthday party though?
Also.
Yeah.
And I've been on the stage as well. I don't know why, but I remember
it was so easy to get on there.
But I almost fell down on the little stairs.
Yeah.
As well, and we have some more fun. Just after party things that happened there.
I saw NC Verum there. I think I saw what was the other band like that? Also some last show.
But also, like you said, like Dante's, it's not only a place where you go see bands. You were also going there to have a drink. They had like a lot of tables and high spots to sit and just have a drink. I remember there going.
I remember
as well.
One of the times that we ended up very late there.
Something with ice cubes.
Yes. Yeah. Let's not go.
No. That's a private story.
Yeah.
But, so yeah. Sometimes places become iconic because of what you experience and not so much about,
True. Definitely. We had some good stories about that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe quickly a bit about Nighttown then, because Nighttown is one that everybody will know that was in the Netherlands. That's such a big name.
Although I think I've only been there once.
I've been there a couple times. I love being in Rotterdam always. For me, it was also very easy to get home from there, which was for you maybe harder, I think.
No, a little bit harder because I've been to Waterfront, Baruch.
True. But
all those other kind of iconic places.
Oh, yeah, Waterfront, I remember. Sorry about it, we have too much stories. No, but now Nighttown is the venue. Yeah, I mean, I like that place. It was like very often I would hang out there and be also go to Exit in Rotterdam, which was a small kind of club-ish venue. Definitely iconic, but not big enough to go into details about that one here. But Nighttown, it was one of those venues that had big names. Definitely there. I've seen punk bands. I think I told that story also once in a podcast about me seeing Viva la Vet there. Ella Bandita, I think.
Oh yeah.
That's the story that I already spoke about on Nighttown. So it was so sad when they had to close that down.
Although there's still the bar next to it, Roadtown, that still exists, right? I think.
It's on the other side of the block.
Yeah, but it was kind of.
Yeah, that one still exists actually. I think.
But it was kind of connected back then. And
on the back.
Yeah.
But not like next door or something.
No.
You had to go around the block to get there. And that was quite something. I think also when they broke down, a lot of people were really sad about that place. Mm-hmm. And I think they tried to have, there he comes, Prince, to buy the place because he once made an offer on Nighttown, but at that point it wasn't for sale. So when it was going bankrupt, they tried to reach out to see if he was interested, but that didn't happen in the end. So that was a pity. They did do a lot of reconstruction of the building after that and made a new venue out of it. That was called What?
Yeah.
I've been there a couple times. I saw Mortis there. I saw the Generators there. Some other punk bands. Which were they on tour with? I can't recall. But I've been there a couple times. I don't think it was around for much more than 1.5 years or so before they broke down. But it was nice. They had one of these technology things that the dance floor was generating energy and such. Like, aha. Costs a lot of money and sounds very fancy, but you don't make the money back that easily.
Yeah.
Which was probably why they went bankrupt. They had all these fancy things there that didn't need to be there.
No.
So yeah, that was a pity because Nighttown was so great and what was really on a good start. They booked good bands, but it just didn't happen.
No.
So yeah, I think I have another Finnish one where both of us have been to a couple times, several times, and that's Nostori in Helsinki. That only recently quit. Like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, they finished Nostori. They're removing the building to build houses there. Very sad. And I think even the basis of Templars is laying in Nostori, if you think about it. Because when I decided that Templars needed to be a website because
instead of emailing
instead of the emailing, that was when I went with one of our other crew members in Nostori, and we went to a show where what did we see there? Suburban Tribe, Blood Pit, and some other bands.
Blood Pit. Oh.
Yeah, good old days. Good old days.
Yeah, Suburban Tribe I remember too, but not there.
Yeah, and I don't remember who was the support there, but yeah, that was like that night. Then when I was standing on the balcony looking down thinking, you know what?
It needs.
Yeah. And of course, if you were down there and you look up, there was the big heartagram hanging on the ceiling from him. I remember it was donated by him, and when they went on tour, they took it off and they took it on tour with them.
Uh-huh.
I think when they closed it down, it's now in Tavastia, actually. So people can still go and see it. But it was that nice little touch that you had to just see, because you have to look up, and not everybody would notice probably.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was on tour when I was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I saw Stamina there. And
me too also someday.
Probably NC Fear, maybe. I don't know. I've been there a couple of times. But I think maybe what it also made it iconic is that they had like rehearsal studios there.
Yeah.
And I think...
And how easily you could get lost in the backstage.
Never been there. But I think Children of Bodom was rehearsing there. I think maybe Amorphous as well. I think they might have played there, probably.
Velcro did at some point.
So it was not just the place.
Yeah, that's true.
But then
it was really like they were building the bands, so to say.
Yeah,
I think so. That's basically what their job was. So. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing the first Metal Orgy shows were always there, where metal and industrial were combined. Fear Domination, Turmion Keitelot, Ruoska, those kind of bands. I've seen Velcro there a couple times doing events. I saw Killed even playing there. I think I even left from another festival specifically to see them play there. And so much. There's so much memories to say. Nostalgia. It's a pity that they're not around anymore.
So back to Dutch.
And I think this one is unavoidable for us to talk about, and that is the Bibelo.
Oh. I can't talk about that one.
Yeah, you have to.
I think I a part in my life I almost lived there. I had the keys of the place. I photographed there, but I started out in doing behind the bar. Then I went to the backstage crew. I did how do you say that? Yeah, well, stage crew.
Yeah.
I did lights for a little while, but also stage managed there. I put a lot of bands on that stage, a lot of Finnish bands as well.
Yeah. And how many times have we been there together? Like, wow, so many.
Yeah, well, like I said, if I wasn't there working, I was there just being and watching
bands.
other bands and having a good time. I think sometimes I was there even on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like maybe even Mondays we had production meetings, and then maybe Tuesday there was also a gig, and then I was, and at one point I lived almost across the street.
Yeah, I was the
and
same.
I had the keys, and then
so
sometimes
close.
they were calling me. Like I went to, I rolled out of there at like 6 in the morning, and then or 7 or 8 even, and then at 10, I got a call like the band is standing there. Like what? Yeah, you live nearby. Can you just open up? Okay. And then, the floor would still be sticky from the beer. Yeah, I have so many memories, but it was an old church.
Yeah.
And it had to leave because also the problem with the neighbors.
Yeah.
And the backstage was really tiny.
I liked the atmosphere there. It gave me almost Finnish vibes, because it was like not just one hall with a stage and square, and like it was really had these round shapes everywhere.
Koepel.
Yeah, but also the bar was kind of like
was in shaped. And we had the bubbles there. You could get cocktails there in a long time ago. Yeah, it was fun. It's where my live music.
Yeah, I've seen so many bands there. It's like,
and still all the bands we're seeing. I mean, we talk about
Dark Tranquility,
Soilwork, Amorphis, Insomnium.
Yeah.
Swallow the Sun, Lacuna Coil, Dark. No, the
F Angel.
No,
I think also. I've seen Poison Black there.
Poison Black as well.
I've seen Entwine.
Hafine.
Yeah.
Apocalyptica played there too in 1999. I wasn't there. People annoyed me with that a lot of times.
I think
because I missed it.
Played there long time ago. I have no recollection of that.
Sure.
I have no recollection of that, but I think they did probably. Yeah.
So many. I mean, back in the days, there were, I think, the Headbangers tour.
Yeah.
They stopped there a couple of years with like 5 of those bands, and
I saw Viva la Fête there also.
Yes. I think multiple times.
Yeah. So much going on.
I think Korpiklani did not play there, but in the new.
I can't recall.
But yeah, for me.
Yeah. Oh my. I remember one night I was talking with the support band from Soilwork show, French band. Actually, I met them in Amsterdam, and I was supposed to go there, and I was within 5 minutes. He already put me on the guest list for the show next day in Dordrecht, and I remember that I was talking with him there, and then you lost me or something, and some kind of weird rumor started to happen.
But I don't know, I lost you there more times.
Yeah.
And then also that I didn't know you were there, and then suddenly you were there. Like halfway during the gig, like, ta-da!
Oh, hi!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good memories.
Yeah, especially we've been there together so many times. And then same kind of thing, but I think we spoke a little bit about it before. But it's not on my list. It's the Baruch.
Yeah.
They recently literally torn the place down. They will get a new building, and that great.
Was needed.
And also, because the place is very iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, I reviewed the book that they made. You should totally read that and buy the book maybe to get the whole feeling of it, because that just summarizes it all. But the times that we were there together were also plenty, and I've been there also so many times on my own.
I have good memories there too.
Yeah. That's great. It was just a small place. I think what's the capacity? Maybe 250 or something.
Yeah.
Really like that.
Really small.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
the
still,
new
if we
building-
talk about it, I think we talked about it last summer when I was at your place.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was last year, I think. And we were talking about Baruch and about the best gigs we've seen from certain bands. And for
Comfort.
me, Kamfar and Solstafir, in my memory, those gigs were the best there. Because it was definitely not the best when it comes to sound and light and that.
Yeah, but for a small place, it was still quite okay.
But the experience of the tiny place, sometimes it felt you were on your own there, They were like playing just for you.
Yeah.
And then...
That's for sure.
That atmosphere was just...
cozy. It feels like you're going to a party with your friends and having some bands playing there, even though there were like international names coming to see you. I think we cannot have iconic venues without mentioning Baruch at least. So, yeah. Then I have only one. I think we didn't discuss. Yeah, two actually. Well, Hella. Maybe very shortly to mention, it's a venue in Tampere. I lived there and I've had many memorable nights there, where I was on the list press list by a band, a UK band that was playing there, and it was like 3 PM and I was asked to come early so we could hang out and whatever. I walk into the venue and the people there were like, "Oh, I didn't see your name on the list or whatsoever," and I'm like, "Huh? But this isn't this." And then they were like, "Oh, we'll ask them, we'll ask." And then the guy comes and it says like, "Oh yeah, I wrote a random name there because I didn't remember it." I was just looking at it and I remember
how are you supposed to get in? Like,
me and the lady at the bar were like looking at each other like, "Is this serious?"
I wrote a random name.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the list. There's like a random name. If nobody else claims that name, that's me.
Yeah, sort of like that. And then he decided to like, "Oh, it's time to introduce myself." And he sticks out his hand to me and says the most iconic words, "Hi, I'm drunk." I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, guy." Nice to meet you, drunk. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that night ended up with the band being on the stage and the drummer being without any clothes on while playing. And in between the songs, he was also enjoying...
Wearing a sock? Or?
No, he was enjoying himself playing something more than just the drums. Yeah. I was like, that was drunk. That was drunk doing that. And beside the stage, you also had a little cage where in the club nights some girl
or dance
would dance there. That was the thing. And I remember there was always one of the regular customers that was like always dressed like in sort of jeans like a cowboy with the fringe on the bottoms and such and a hat on, and he would always go crazy dancing there. I was like, that guy himself was already iconic. What I remember most maybe is like they had flames on the wall, and then the way they had this light effect on it with orange light that was kind of rotating, which make you look at the flames as if they were moving, like if you would be drinking and that would be like, what the hell is going on? Did I do drugs or something? What's going on here? So yeah, but I think I lived there in 2007 and I think I left then. After that it was around for maybe a couple more months and then it closed down.
Yeah, you left.
Yeah, I was there so often, but it wasn't enough for them to stay open. Then Gloria in Helsinki. You were there someday? Never?
No.
It was an old theater. So it was like, the downstairs was just a stage and in a half circle basically. And the upstairs was like balconies, but like ancient theater, like with chambers and like checkboard floors and everything, and like super atmospheric.
No, I've never been there.
The famous Trash Fest event took place. You weren't there, but you did have an exhibition there with us.
The photos.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of great bands playing there. Especially Mortis was one of the ones I remember. But also the crazy industrial shit like Vanity Beach. Yes, even though I didn't like them. But also Sexy Death. There were some German bands that played there, the industrial bands. All the craziness from Trash Fest. Mary Slim was playing there. 69 Eyes have been playing there. All that crazy things. So, yeah, I guess for many, that's still also a very iconic place. And I think it was sort of city council owned. So it was the kind of place where youngsters had the opportunity to organize something themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So that was also very nice. I think the one weirdest thing I've ever seen there was kind of an event that was about Japanese music. I think it was called Tsukikon or something, and where they put those Japanese metal-ish kind of bands there, and I was just thinking like, what the hell am I watching here? But yeah, very nice.
Yeah, well, there's still Paradiso in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk about Bibelo, you have to mention Paradiso as well.
Of course.
I mean,
also a church.
Also a church. They have these lovely
that
glass in lood. How do you call it in English? Glass in lead?
No, I think it's stained glass.
Stained glass, yeah. That's the right word. They have this beautiful 3 windows of stained glass
in the back.
Then you have the balconies, and I've seen also so many bands there, but I only recall Finnish bands. I don't know why.
Remember the event that like pretty much everyone we went to was on the guest list for some reason. The hymn show.
Yeah, I was on the hymn. Yeah,
you were also on the guest list, right?
I was also on the guest list.
Everyone.
But we didn't went together.
No, I was with another girl from Rotterdam, and
I was also
for some reason, everybody who was at that show ended up being on the guest list. Like, I don't know if people actually bought tickets for that show.
And he was drunk.
I saw My Dying Bride there. I saw Courtney Love there.
Wow.
I saw a couple of Britpop bands there. I saw Keen there in 2006.
I saw Children of Bodom.
2005 maybe even. I don't know.
Mokkoma. Was it Mokkoma? No, it was... anyway.
So,
a couple of Finnish bands.
Yeah.
Was...
I think did we see Apocalyptica there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Both in Melkweg and...
Yeah. In Paradiso also, yeah. And
did we see... I was thinking about this...
I think...
Lapko was... Moonshot is from various bands. And there's the one band, and I think we saw them together in... think it was...
Disco Ensemble.
Yeah! Didn't we see them play there, like, upstairs, and then there was something downstairs, and...
Possible. I can't recall to seeing that. I think most
so.
iconic for me was probably Courtney Love, because I really pulled a string there to get in there on the press list, and almost nobody was allowed, and I was like, yes! Oh yeah! And then the funny thing, it was like everybody went for Courtney Love, but I was standing in the line to get in, and it goes like around the corner to get in, and then in that corner was the guitarist standing there.
And nobody noticed.
Smoking, and nobody noticed. But he knew me. He was like looking at me saying, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I was just like,
okay.
I do know that you're playing the guitar for Courtney Love, but I do not remember how you know me. So that was kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
Van Katoen, Green Lizard. I've seen so many bands.
So many bands playing there.
But yeah.
Yeah.
In Finland, you still have, and I don't think you think it's iconic, but Tavastia, I mean,
it is iconic, just not my kind of venue.
No.
But that's okay. I don't have to like everything. So, yeah, but definitely iconic, so to say.
Yeah. So many bands played there.
Yeah.
It's been there for ages.
Yeah, definitely.
Still is.
Yeah, I think when I look at the list and all the stories that we have and the memories and such.
A lot is in Finland.
A lot of it, but it doesn't.
But also a lot of it's in the Netherlands.
That's because it's temporous and it's our thing, you know. But like, if you look at it now in the list, what will be the future iconic venues, do you think?
Yeah, I have one, and I have not been there, but I've written it down because I and it's in Belgium. It's in Brussels. It's La Botanique.
Oh, yeah.
It's situated in
Botanique,
like a greenhouse, an old greenhouse, and you have all those trees outside and green stuff. It's in the greenhouse, and I think they have like 3 zalen, halls, and they're called like the orangerie and the cellars. And it fits with La Botanique.
True.
So I would like to go there, and I think if they can keep that, you know,
then
it might be something.
True.
But I've not been there yet.
Yeah, so. But if I think about the Netherlands, what would be future
iconic
venues? I mean, a venue like
I don't think
Tivoli Vredenburg is quite known for having a lot of bands there, but is it iconic? For me, no. It doesn't qualify as such for me.
No. And like all those like AFAS and this bigger...
No, definitely not.
Not. The new Below. No.
Baruch, new building maybe, because they already have that name. And I think...
Maybe, because it's not going to be too big.
Yeah, true. But I was also thinking of, in Zoetermeer you have the Boerderij.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's not my most favorite place to be, but it is kind of nice. It's like very, it's a solitude building. There's nothing like next to it or something. So I think maybe a coffee shop is there, if I remember. But they book mainly progressive rock, so that's kind of their thing.
Yeah,
that's the main thing that's playing there. But I think they have good names, great names, so definitely could be a future iconic venue. Then you have, of course, Willemijn in Arnhem, which is a small place and definitely does all the things that Baruch also did. Is it iconic yet? At this point, I would not necessarily say so, but I think in maybe 20 years, people definitely have stories and everything. So, I think that could be one that I could see turning iconic. And then... maybe in the north of the Netherlands there are some places. I don't go there very often. But a lot of the new places are just cold. Straight, square-ish,
cubic, like designed for sound.
Yeah.
And not,
Yeah, but also not decorated whatsoever. Like... Sure, we've seen the black walls, but why not like have some graffiti artists do something or so? Like do something like that. That made that kind of... That's what Baruch had. Like they had that on the outside. They had they had Ozzy and the dragons and everything. So that's kind of gives it some character, so to say. But then again, we have briefly mentioned Melkweg in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And although it is kind of a squarish place, it does have a lot of history and a lot of great bands have been playing there. I've been there also countless times.
Me too.
So, maybe that in some point will be iconic. For some people it might already be, but for me not.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Melkweg. It's you cannot not mention it when you're talking about Dutch venues.
True.
But I don't think... Somehow it does miss something to be iconic.
True. I think so too. It's just not...
It's just a good... And I think the problem is because like almost in the same street... Well, not exactly, but almost... in a straight line you go to Paradiso, and that's like... That one is iconic.
Yeah, that's and also,
it has to compete with Paradiso.
Yeah. That is.
And then I think even if when you have all those memories and stories from Melkweg, it doesn't live up to Paradiso being Paradiso in the place and already, yeah, so.
Yeah, that is.
But maybe that's the same with Tavastia, you know, it has all these old bands, it has so many bands shaped there, but it's not. Yeah,
it's just not that extra. It doesn't have the X factor.
Yeah, well, to me it still has, because you have the floor in front of the stage, and you have this teeny tiny backstage with all this writing.
Yeah.
And then you have
they made pillows out of that. Did you know that? They made pillows out of the walls from.
Funny.
Yeah.
And then you have the little stairs to the bar Ilves, and then you have semi-final.
Yeah, semi-final is not around anymore, I thought.
I think it still is.
I thought they were closing it down, actually.
Oh, maybe. But I thought it still was. I have some good memories there, too. Like, I even got in once by mentioning Finnish bands to the security guy. He said, "You don't know as many as I do." I said, "I beg to differ." And I won back then. Right now I wouldn't, but back then. And I do have some quite fun memories in Tavastia as well, because you had, well, like I said, next to the floor you had the bar, and it's also round, like ovally shaped. And then I have some quite fun stories there too.
Oh, I think they kind of did some renos in semi-final. Because I remember that somebody said to me that it was closed.
I did karaoke there once.
Yeah. I saw...
My one-time card.
I saw drummer Mikko with his band.
Megaphone,
yes! I want to be a toy boy!
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's just one of those funny gags that, I saw that band there.
So in that way, I think it kind of is iconic, because it has the Elvis bar, it has semi-final, it has Heldon was always there with him.
True.
So yeah, I think it still is iconic.
Yeah, semi-final was nice, but I didn't like the Tavastia Hall or that much. Yeah, I did see some cool bands. I saw Florence and the Machine there. I photographed them, and I remember she was walking into the audience at some point when she was done after the show, and she gave me some weird compliment about my bag, and I was like, okay, thank you. That's kind of weird.
Wait, I remember some Finnish guys thinking I was the girl from Indica.
Oh yeah.
And I had to prove with my passport I wasn't that girl.
I remember also at that show I met the person who sent me a YouTube video of a song, coolly, that I once said to you, and we asked some random Finnish persons to translate what it was. Yeah.
Wasn't
interesting.
Fintrol playing that song on stage or something? One
of
of them, they were doing the changeover, and one of them shouted that word, I think, and then we started dancing in a photo of it, like cool.
Possibly. Or did we? I don't know. But I got that song from some random person that talked to me at that show, Florence and the Machine there, and I remember sending it also to you. Like, what the fuck is this?
So yeah. Well, you got a little bit of our stories.
Yeah.
About venues. We've been to venues we like, venues that turn into iconic places or that already are iconic. If you have some good story,
please share. We want to know your guys. We want to know all your stories too, and we do want to talk with fans at some point also in the podcast maybe. So if that's something, you have a really good story and you can talk about it for quite a while, then sure, hit us up. info@templars.com. We're very interested to hear your guys' stories.
So yeah, there was a little bit of a special episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know.
Yeah, please leave us a comment on our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, even if you do want to. I'm not really actively doing things with Facebook, but it still exists.
So see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.